Hi guys, so here Anwari here, co-founder of Sublime Trading, here with your daily update for the UK and US indices for Tuesday the 21st of April. Okay guys, hope you're well. If you're new to these daily updates, then I recommend starting with the recording that's pinned to the top of our Facebook page so you get a good understanding of what I go through in these daily updates. Okay, let's get into the chart, starting with the FTSE 100. Now, of course, this is our three-screen setup. Monthly in the top left, weekly in the top right, and our daily chart here at the bottom. If we start with the monthly on the FTSE 100, not much change really. Price still finding support at the low of February 2016. If we look at April's candlestick, it's looking like an indecision candle. So potentially, if it closes like this by the end of the month, this could be a sign of indecision at support, which can often mean a bounce to the upside. Of course, it could also mean a slowdown in this drop before a continuation further to the downside back to this next area of support. So it really is a waiting game to see what price dictates. If we move across to the weekly time frame, we can see prices below the 200 and the 50 simple moving averages. We've had this drop in price currently in this pullback. Now what we're seeing is weakness. Now, is this temporary weakness before the next leg up, or is this an early sign of an end to this pullback and then a move back to the downside? Ultimately, if this support level is cleared, then that's a sign of a continuation. If we move across to the daily time frame, we can see prices also below the 200 and the 50 simple moving averages, but currently finding support at the 20 simple moving average. Overall, really just in this mini area of consolidation. If resistance levels are broken to the upside, then we'll see price move to the 200 moving average. If we get a break and close below this area of support, then that will be a continuation of the downtrend. For now, we really need to stand aside and let price dictate a clear trend direction. Okay, let's move into the US indices, starting with the Dow Jones. Now, on the monthly time frame, we know that price is looking bullish. So we've had a move to the downside, price has found support, we've had a bounce back to the upside, and price is currently trading above the low of 2019. If it closes above this level, that'll be a strong sign of a move back to the upside. If we move across to the weekly time frame, we can see the pullback has taken price to the 200 simple moving average. So price is currently trading around this area. And if we come down to the daily time frame, we can see the pullback has taken price to the 50 simple moving average, where it's currently finding resistance. So what we now need to wait and see is if we get price move through the 50 simple moving average back up to the 200 simple moving average, or whether this area will hold strong and we see a move back to the downside. Now, we've got similar setups on the S&P 500 because all the indices generally move in the same way. The only difference is that the S&P 500 found support at the low of 2019. We've had a bullish looking April so far. On the weekly time frame, the pullback has taken price above the 200 simple moving average, and if we come down to the daily time frame, we can see the pullback is now at the 50 simple moving average. So if price moves through this, then the next area of resistance is the 200 moving average. If we start seeing support levels broken, particularly the low of March, then that will be a strong sign of a continuation to the downside. Moving across to the Nasdaq. Now, the Nasdaq's leading the way in terms of bullishness. If we look at April, it's looking very bullish, but just below the high of 2019, which is acting as resistance. If this area is cleared, then we're likely to see price move back to the all-time high of February this year. Now, in the weekly time frame, price is already above the 200 and the 50 simple moving averages. You can see price didn't break through the 200 moving average. It found support, had that move to the upside, and we can see price trading above the 50 simple moving average. And on the daily time frame, we can see the pullback has taken price through the 200, the 50 and the 20 simple moving averages. So this is very much looking bullish compared to the Dow Jones and the S&P 500. What we now want to see is a continuation through that 9,000 round number, where it's currently finding an area of resistance. If that's cleared, then price is likely to move to the all-time high. If we move to the S&P 500, which gives us an indication of pre-market action, if we look at the monthly, we can see price is bullish as it's finding support at the low of last year. If we look at the actual candlestick itself, you can see that it was looking far more bullish, but the bears have started coming in and push price back down. If we move across to the weekly time frame, we can see why the pullback has taken price above the 200 moving average, below the 50 simple moving average, and we can see that so far this week price has been bearish. But remember, we're still only it's still only Tuesday. We still have Wednesday, Thursday and Friday to go in terms of price action, so this could look very different by the end of the week, or this could potentially mean a pullback to the 200 moving average where it could find support and then a move back to the upside. On the daily time frame, you can see the correction, this a weakness so far this week in more detail. The pullback has taken price at a 50 simple moving average, and you can see Monday and Tuesday both showing weakness. Of course, we need to see how today plays out before we really have any clear idea of today's price action. It's always best to look at the end of day candlestick to get a really good idea of what could happen tomorrow and throughout the rest of the week, because the institutional money tends to come in towards the last hour of the trading day. So that's where we are at the moment, guys. Still really waiting for a clear bias in price. If support levels ahead start getting cleared, particularly the 200 moving average, then we're moving into bullish territory. If the low of March is cleared, then that will be bearish territory. In between these levels, really it's a consolidating market and we'll be standing aside. Okay guys, that's me for today. Please like, comment and share this video. Let's get this information out there. Let's get people viewing these charts in the right way so that they can make much better decisions on making their own personal investment, creating their own personal investment portfolio. And I will see you on tomorrow's recording.